Yes, student. So good evening to everyone. And today we have the very first session. I hope so my screen is visible to everyone, please. Yes, student. Please kindly confirm. Is my screen clearly visible?
Yes, yes.
Yes, perfect. So students, when we talk about this particular subject, which is called financial management, this is basically a subject in which we always understand that what is the basic meaning of financial aspect of investments, financial aspects of, you could say, retention, or financial aspect about different projects which the company always deals with. Okay. So when we discuss about this particular topic about what is financial management is all about, in the financial management, whenever the company always want to start a particular project, they always need to plan about their fund management. They always need to plan about their, you could say, monetary aspect of each and every project or each and every, you could say, future avenues which they have. So when we discuss about this particular subject about financial management, the company always discuss with four major considerations. That is about the planning, raising, controlling, and administration of the fund which is used in the business. Okay. Now, when we discuss about the planning of fund, for example, if you need to start your own business or if you want to expand your company, the company always need to plan about how they can arrange the fund or what are the different sources from where you can arrange the fund. The important thing all about the planning part. Planning is all about any product, any project, or any future avenues which the company is looking after. When we discuss about the raising, raising means the amount of fund which you have to raise from the public. It may be, you could say, on fund, which the, you could say, the owner or the proprietor is using their own fund, or we may say that the particular person may take the loan from the bank. So raising is all about the fund which is being arranged from different sources. That is about the raising of fund. When we talk about the third basic component of financial management, which is called controlling. Controlling is all about how the company will basically use all those funds into different avenues or into, you could say, different options. For example, if the companies want to launch a new product in the market, so what the company will do? Definitely, they will actually spend a amount of money in order to, you could say, for the research and development, for their packaging, for their, you could say, transportation. So controlling is basically all about how the fund is basically allocated for different activity in the organization. When we come to the fourth part about the administration, administration is all about the follow up process or the managing about your fund post investment. Okay. So administration of fund is basically all about how the company has actually invested and what is the return which the company is getting it out of it. That is called the administration of the fund. Okay. So always remember when we discuss about any financial management topic, we always need to understand these four major pillars of financial management about the planning, about raising, controlling, and the administration. Okay. Now, when we discuss about the second definition of this particular financial management, you can see that application of general management principle. As I told you already, the financial management all about dealing with various financial decisions of the company. Okay. These financial decisions may be in terms of investment of funds, financing of various activities, or disposal of the profit. I'll discuss with you what this part is all about. The first one is about your investment of funds. Investment is all about where the company can actually invest their money so that they can earn the optimum return out of it. That investment may be in the company's expansion, maybe in the share market, or maybe in some other businesses or other revenues which the company is looking after. So that is the part of your areas of investment of funds. When we discuss about the financing, financing of various activities, financing means how the company can arrange the fund for various projects, for various, you could say, new product development or any research activity in the organization. So financing is all about how the company is arranging the fund from various sources. When we discuss about the last part, it's disposal of profits. Disposal of profit is basically all about how the company is basically generating the profit from their business activities and how the company is basically distributing their profit among their shareholders, or even though they can retain the profit in the organization as well, which is called the reserve, which the company always maintains. So always remember, students, when we talk about this particular subject, financial management, it always deals with the major management principle about investment activity, financing activity, and disposal of profit as well. I hope so this particular part is clear to everyone. Okay. That is the definition part we talked about. Now, when we talk about this particular subject, we always deals with the two major aspects of financial management topic. Okay. That is about the procurement of funds, and second is called your utilization of funds. Okay. Now, when we talk about the procurement of funds, what does it mean? Anyone? What is procurement of funds? Yes, any student? The two major aspects, two major considerations when we talk about the financial management aspect. The first part is procurement of funds. Anyone having any idea, please? Okay, fine. So when we discuss about the procurement means arrangement of funds. For example, if I have to start my business, and in order to start the business, definitely company always want to arrange the fund, because in order to start a business, you always need some fund. And fund can be arranged either with the help of your own source of fund, like your own savings, or you may have to approach to banks in order to arrange the fund for your business or for your project. Okay. The second part is about utilization of fund. Utilization of fund is all about uses of fund or disposal of fund. Because whenever the company having the funds available, or you could say the quantum of funds available, how the company is basically efficiently using those funds into the organization so that they may have the optimum return out of it. Optimum return means the company must generate the desired profit which they are expecting from their project. So always remember, when we discuss about the financial management aspect or the consideration, we always have two basic points: arrangement of funds, that is procurement of funds, with the help of, you could say, on source, or we may say that from any external source, that is from the bank. Or we can say that the second part of this particular part, that is all about your utilization of funds. Utilization means how the company is basically using those funds, how the company is disposing those funds, so that the company may attain the optimum return out of it. That is the very first part about the consideration or the pillars or the aspect of your financial management. Yes, students. So now we have the third category, that is about your procurement of funds. Okay, as I told you already, the procurement of funds are basically all those major aspects which the company always look after. Okay, how they can arrange the funds. So the major sources from where the company can arrange the fund is all about your debenture and bonds, hire purchase and leasing, angel financing, venture capital, commercial banks, and honest funds. Okay, so there are major, you could say, because there may be some other sources as well, but the major sources from where the company always arrange the fund are the major, you say, six aspects, or the six, you could say, sources from where the company can arrange the fund for the businesses. Okay, the very first part, if I talk about, that is the honest fund. Honest fund is all about the, you could say, the proprietor or the partner or the honest on fund which they have invested into the business. Okay, so the on fund used by the company, on fund used by the owner of the company, that would be called your honest fund. Okay, now when we discuss about the debentures and bonds, okay, debentures and bonds, anyone having any idea what is debenture, what is bond? Any idea to anyone? Yes, then please kindly speak up if you know anything about this particular topic. Because more discussion we have for this subject, better understanding you will get to know. Debentures and bonds. Anyone having any idea, please, about debentures and bonds?
No, sir.
No idea. Fine.
Bond is like an agreement.
Bond is like an agreement. See, that bond is different, I think so. Someone has raised this particular part. Nagbani, I think. Okay. See, this particular bond is very different part, because we are discussing about this bonds and the debentures in the concept of financial instrumentation. Okay. Let me have a discussion on this, please. Okay. So when we talk about this particular bonds and debenture, it is the basic difference between bonds and debenture right now. Always remember, the bonds and debentures are basically debt instrumentation. Okay. Now, when we talk about what is debt instrumentation, that we need to understand first of all. Always remember, debt instrumentation are those instrumentation on which, whenever you are investing some money, you will generate some interest out of it. Okay. For example, you purchase you could say a debt instrument of a bank, and bank is giving you 10% return on this. So whenever there is a you could say a return in terms of percentage on any financial instrumentation, that would be called your bonds and debenture. Debt instrument I'm talking right now. Remember always, the bonds and debenture both are basically the debt instrumentation. Okay. Now, when we discuss about the first part about the bonds, you can see that it is a financial instrument showing the indebtedness of the issuing body towards its holder. Now, any body means you can see that generally secured by collateral. It means that even though if the company, you could say dilute, if the company closed down, your money is always safe. So usually the bond is issued by all government agencies, financial institution or corporation. And whenever you purchase any bond of any organization, these bonds are always secured in nature. Even though if the company closed down, even though if the company is diluted, in all such cases, the money is saved. Money is basically, you cannot say that it's like a share market investment. So in the case of investment in the bond, your money is always safe. But always remember, whenever the particular investor is investing in the bond, the interest rate or the interest is the you could say the investor generate is always low. Okay, that is the definition of basically the bond. When we talk about debenture, debenture is again you could say type of debt instrumentation where you will generate interest on it. But debentures are basically long-term investment. Bonds may be for 1 year, but the debenture may be for medium term or for the long term, 3 years investment, 5 years investment. And make sure always these debentures always carry higher interest rate as compared to your bonds. Okay, and debenture may be secured or maybe in you could say unsecured, depends on the type of debenture which the company is issued. Okay, so it's a very basic difference between bonds and debenture. Always remember, we are discussing about the procurement of funds. This is one of the you could say most fashionable, most important source how the company can arrange the fund from the public with the help of bond or with the help of debenture, because they can issue the bond and they can generate the fund from the market. Is it clear with everyone? What is bonds and what is debentures? Yes, students, is it clear, please, everyone? The bonds and the debentures. Okay, fantastic. Let's move to the next part then. The third category of procurement of funds, we have hire purchase and leasing. Okay. Now, what is hire purchase and leasing? Any idea to anyone? Hire purchase and leasing. I think you might have heard the word lease. Yes, any one of you? What is hire purchase and what is leasing? Please, whatever definition you know, you can tell me. Because more you speak, more you discuss, better clarity you have for this particular subject. Okay, so don't shy, open up, whatever.
Can you repeat once again?
Hire purchase and leasing I'm talking right now.
Lease means for long term, in case we are lease means one type of lease agreement. Lease agreement, yes, I know.
Okay. So what this lease agreement is all about, Pankaj?
For long term, suppose we are making a rent agreement, we can make it for 1 year. That is called okay, lease agreement.
Okay. Okay.
Only that I know.
Okay. Okay. Fantastic. No, it's good. It's correct. Not completely correct, but it's almost correct. Anyone else, please? What is leasing? Anyone else, please?
No, sir, I don't know.
So lease is a term which is
Aditya.
So lease defined as the long-term rent agreement. It is like a long-term rent agreement. Which will provide by private and government, provide by government and private sector also. So
Yes, yes, very good, very good. Aditya. So let me describe this particular definition now. When we discuss about this third category of procurement of fund, which is called hire purchase and leasing. Okay. Now, when we discuss about the hire purchase is basically whenever the company want to purchase a particular asset and they also want to take the ownership at the last. For example, if I want to purchase a machinery, but as of now, I don't have that much fund available. For example, that machinery costing rupees 1 crore rupees. Okay. Now I cannot spend that 1 crore right now. What I will do, I will basically contact the owner and I will give a part payment, like you could say installment payment to the owner. Okay. But at the once I am just completing my installment, the ownership of that particular asset will be transferred to that particular person, those who are giving those installments. So always remember, hire purchase are basically one of the agreements between the owner and the particular customer, in which the customer is paying the part payment to the owner in order to take the ownership at the end of your installment completion. That is called the hire purchase. Similar to the hire purchase, leasing, we have one of the options. But in the case of leasing, the only difference is that the ownership is not being transferred from the owner to the customer. Okay, leasing again, we could say it's a long-term rental agreement. We may simply say that whenever like for example, we see a lot of banks around us. Okay, what those banks are doing, definitely they are not purchasing that land. They are always taking that premises on rent for long-term purpose, 10 years, 20 years, 100 years. Okay, so always remember, leasing is basically the long-term agreement or long-term rental agreement on the basis of which a particular company can use the premises on rental basis, but the ownership of that particular asset is not being transferred from the owner to the customer. But in the case of hire purchase, the ownership will get transferred at the end of the EMI, or you could say installment completion. So that is a part of your hire purchase and the leasing. I hope so. Am I clear now? What is hire purchase and what is leasing?
Hire purchase, the building will means it will transfer to the customer.
Yes, yes. Ownership will be transferred.
Yeah,
Ownership.
ownership. But in
Yes,
lease, it will not get transferred to
yes,
the.
yes, yes. In lease, it won't be.
So in case suppose someone want to purchase a flat, so in the flat will the it will transfer to the customer, right?
Yes.
Customer will pay the EMI.
Yeah, see, basically, like you're talking about the loan. For example, if I have to
Yeah,
purchase
loan.
one flat, okay, and on that flat, the loan is very different part, okay. But in
Okay,
the case
okay.
of hire purchase, we are using that particular portion for commercial purposes, okay. But loan is something because you are having the ownership still left with the bank till the moment you are not completing your EMI, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that is all about different agreements actually, or you could say different legal, you
Okay,
could say foundation between the company and the customer.
okay, okay.
Yes, yes. Now, when it comes to the next category, which we have the angel financing. Okay. Now, angel financing, I think I'll take the example first of all, because when we discuss about the angel financing, when we talk about, you could say the new entrepreneurs, the innovators, okay, or you could say all those individual or the business concern, those who are basically investing their money into any new business, just to give them financial support. Okay. Basically, angel financing is one of the most important aspects nowadays because of the startup, which we already know. So what the angel financer do, they are basically the big businessmen, the big business tycoons. Basically, what they do, they basically giving some financial support to new startups, to new companies in the private sector, we can say as well. So what they do, they always give the funding to all those startups in order to give them some cushion, some you could say financial cushion in order to run their company for long term purpose. Now, what they used to do, basically, they are basically the equity ownership, means they are basically the part of ownership into the organization as well. So, angel financer are basically those financer, or you could say those individual or business concern, those who are giving financial support to all new startups. That is again the one of the part of how the company can procure the funds. Angel financing. Is it clear? Angel financing. Is it clear, students? What is angel financing?
Can you explain once again?
Yeah, sure, definitely. Angel financing, like for example, if I have to start one company, and the only problem is that I do not have sufficient funds available to actually expand the company or to actually make it more furnished, make it more, you could say, exposed in the market. But someone from a business tycoon, from a, you could say, an investor is available. So what the investor will do, the investor basically will help the company by investing their money into that startup. So these are called angel financiers.
ओके ओके,
Understood, I think. So
मतलब
just
अगर कोई
to
दूसरा कंपनी वाला उसमें फंडिंग कर रहा है.
yes, definitely. They are supporting those companies actually
ओके
in terms
ओके,
of financial aspect.
मतलब अगर कोई बंदा कंपनी स्टार्ट करना चाहता है, उसके पास फंड नहीं है, तो
Hmm.
दूसरा कंपनी उसको अगर फंडिंग सपोर्ट कर रहा है
Hmm.
फाइनेंशियली, तो
So those
वही आप.
persons would be yes. Those persons would be, or those companies would be called as a angel financier.
ओके ओके.
Okay.
Actually, sir, if someone big tycoon funding any new company, then they
Hmm.
have any ownership on this company,
Definitely,
like
definitely.
shares they are debenturing.
Yes, equity shares would be definitely unique.
Okay,
Okay. So it
thank you.
would be formed in the form of equity shares.
Okay.
Okay. Fine. Now, when we discuss about the next part, that is about the venture capital. Okay. Now, venture capital is again your fifth type of procurement of fund or source of fund. Now, who are the venture capitalists? Basically, venture capitalists are again all those individuals or the business companies, or you could say business tycoons, those who are helping any organization to come up. Like again, these are the new companies, those who are come. But in the case of venture capitalists, what the venture capitalists do, definitely venture capitalists are not only supporting in terms of finances, they are also supporting in terms of managerial expertise, technical expertise for any organization. Okay. So difference between the angel financier and the venture capitalist, the venture capitalists are basically again supporting the small business, and they are supporting all those small, you could say businesses, not only in terms of finances, okay, but also in terms of the managerial support or technical support to those companies. Those companies are called your venture capitalists. Is it clear, please? The venture capital. The support in terms of finance, support in terms of managerial aspect, support in terms of technical aspect. That is called the venture capitalist. Is it clear, students? Venture capitalist. Okay, and the last one we have, that is called the commercial banks. Now, commercial banks are basically all those public or private banks, those who are giving the loan facility to all those new companies in order to arrange the fund. Okay, so the procurement of fund which we discuss right now, the last category of fund arrangement is called your commercial bank, because with the help of commercial bank, you may opt different type of loans as per the requirement of the company. Okay, so like as we discussed the 6 major parts of procurement of fund, or we can say arrangement of fund, it starts with the honest fund, debentures and bonds, hire purchase and leasing, angel financing, venture capitalist, and the commercial bank. Okay. Any doubt to anyone, please, in the procurement of funds? The major sources of fund arrangement for any business. Yes, student. Is it clear, please?
Yeah,
Then we
you
move to
can.
the second. Yeah. Then the next part we have utilization of funds. Okay. Now, when we discuss about the utilization of funds, utilization, as I told you already, the uses of funds. Okay. So in this particular case, what we have to do, utilization of funds is all about deployment of funds in the effective manner. How the company can actually use all those funds in the effective manner so that they can generate or they can attain the maximum return out of it, or you could say maximum profit out of it. So that would be the part of your utilization of funds. So that is the basic two categories in which we discussed. That is about the financial management aspect or the consideration. The first one is procurement of funds, which includes these 6 major sources of funds, and utilization is all about deployment of fund in the effective manner so that the company may generate the efficient or the effective profit out of it. Okay. The next topic which we have, that is about the financial management flow chart. Okay. Now, when we discuss about, as I told you already, that when we talk about the financial management flow chart, it always basically concerned with three major decision making. Okay. The first part which we have, that is called the financing decision. Second is called your investment decision. Third is part your dividend decision. Okay. Now, when we discuss about the first part, about the financing decision. Okay. Now, financing decision, as I told you already, like whenever the company want to generate or company want to find out the sources from where the company can arrange or company can generate the funds for the organization, that is called the financing of funds. Now, financing may be in terms of from the bank, from angel investors, from debentures and bonds, from your own fund. So financing decision is all about how the company is basically arranging the funds from the funds from the market so that they can utilize in the organization for its expansion or for its you could say new product development or for any other project as well. So financing decision always deals with arrangement of funds from the market. Okay. Second part is all about your investment decisions. Okay. Now, when we discuss about the investment decisions basically are all those decisions which the company have to decide that in which source or in which option the company must need to invest into the market. Okay. That investment may be in terms of new business, new product, share market, or any other business avenue which the company is looking after. Okay. So investment decision is all about deployment of funds in an effective manner so that the company may generate profit or returns out of it. The third major decision, which comes under category of your financial management, that would be the part of your dividend decision. Okay. Now, dividend decisions basically are all those decisions whenever the company is generating some profit for the, in the organization, how the company is basically deploying, how the company is basically distributing all those profit which is available in the company to their shareholders, or even if they are not distributing to their shareholders, definitely they will retain or they will make a reserve out of it so that they can use those funds in the future. So dividend decision is all about whether the company has to divide or distribute their profit to their shareholders or not. Now, after keeping in mind or after keeping in consideration all these three major decisions about financing, investment, or dividend, the company will basically assess about risk and return relationship. Now, risk and return is all about whenever the company start their business, whenever the company start, you could say, investing their fund into the market, they always need to assess that whatever fund which they have invested into the market, is those investment are basically fruitful or the company is generating the optimum return out of it or not. So risk and return relationship will always guide you that the fund which the company has invested, is it in the right direction or not in order to achieve the company's desired profit. So always remember, risk and return relationship always deals with the company's investment into the market and whether this investment is fruitful, it is profitable for the company or not in order to generate the goal of the company. Goal may be profit maximization or wealth maximization. Okay. So it's a very basic flow chart about this particular financial management subject. Okay. Which deals with three decisions and along with the relationship of the risk and return. Okay. So these are, it's a very basic part which I've discussed with you about this particular financial management, starting with the definition of financial management. And when we come to this particular two aspects, along with the major sources from where the company can procure the funds, along with that, the bonds and debenture differences we discussed, and how the company can utilize those funds, along with the major important, you could say, flow chart of this financial management topic, that is about the financing, investment, and dividend decisions. Okay. Is there any doubt to anyone? Please can let me know. Because this flow chart and all the decisions we'll discuss from tomorrow's class. Okay. And students, please, I'll request everyone to join the class on time. Okay. The timing is 5 to 7. So you might not miss any important topic in between. Okay. Because it's a technical subject which we're talking right now. So if you miss something, definitely you won't be able to relate it throughout the lecture. Okay. Yes, student. Is there any query to anyone? Whatever we have discussed till now?
No, you can go for the next.
Okay, definitely. So the next part which we have, that is about the financial management and its important decision making, which I'm talking right now. Okay. The most important part about this financial management, the three major decision making which the company always need to look after. The first thing is all about your investment decision, financing decision, and when we come to dividend decision. And you can see this particular gray line over here, that is capital budgeting, working capital management, cost of capital, capital structure decision, leverages, dividend policies, and retained earnings. These are all your units of your syllabus as well. Okay. So basically, as I told you already, these decisions of the financial management always based on these three pillars: investment, financing, and dividend. Okay. And you always remember that these three major decisions are the units of your syllabus as well, because financial management always deals with all these major topics. That is capital budgeting, working capital management, cost of capital, capital structure decisions, leverages, dividend policy, and retained earnings. Okay. So I'll discuss with you one by one in short, because these are the major units, because there's a numerical unit which we have in the syllabus as well. Okay. So we will definitely, the first topic which we're going to discuss, that is your capital budgeting. Okay. Now, when we talk about this first topic, what is capital budgeting? Like you can see that the capital budgeting comes under investment decision. Okay. Capital budgeting is basically one of the most important method in the financial management, which always deals with whenever the company need to do some long-term investment in terms of their land, building, machineries, or any other future avenues. This particular method will always guide you that whether those investments are fruitful or not. And there are, you could say, at least 5 to 6 methods which we have in the capital budgeting, with the help of which we can actually calculate that the project or the machinery which we supposed to purchase in the future, will it be profitable for the company or not? Because under the capital budgeting, we have methods like, you could say, payback period, average rate of return, net present value, internal rate of returns, and all other methods which we'll discuss definitely in this particular topic. So capital budgeting is basically one of the most important topic of your financial management investment decision, which guides you that whether the company needs to invest their money into the concerned project or not. The decision regarding the same will guide you about your capital budgeting. The second part, which comes under category under investment decisions, is called your working capital management. Okay. Working capital management will basically guide you about the current assets and current liabilities. Because what is current assets? First of all, current assets are those assets which the company may generate within 1 year period of time, which includes your debtors, your cash receivables, bill receivables, or any amount which is being received from your debtors. Okay. Now, when we talk about the current liabilities basically are the short-term liabilities, which is for less than 1 year period of time in terms of whatever payment which is due to pay to your creditors. Okay, so it includes your bills payable, creditors, or any amount due to pay. So you could say the management, or you could say the consideration of your current assets and current liability, which comes under category of your working capital management. The third topic of your financial management subject is your cost of capital, and cost of capital comes under financing decisions. Okay, so cost of capital is basically nothing but whenever the company want to raise the fund from the market, they always need to pay the interest on that. So the consideration of the cost associated from the different, you could say, options of investment which the company may generate. For example, if you are taking loan from the bank, that is again the one of the costs which you need to pay to the bank in terms of interest. Okay, so capital means the funds which is being arranged from the market, and what you could say amount of interest or percentage of interest which the company is paying in order to utilize, in order to use those funds into the organization. The next part, we have capital structure. Capital structure is nothing but basically the assessment of the company when it comes to the capital decision in terms of the percentage of debt and percentage of equity does the company need to maintain? When we come to leverages decision, leverages is all about the burden on the company. That the amount of, you could say, burden in terms of interest payment, in terms of expenses of the company, in terms of rent, salary, commissions, or you could say even any loans. So any type of, you could say, operating burden or financing burden, or you could say financial burden, this the company may look after. So that is the part of your leverages analysis, in which we always assess the burden on the company in terms of the financial and operating expenses. The next part comes under dividend decisions, that is dividend policy and retained earnings. As I told you already, the dividend decisions always deals with whatever profit which the company is earning, whether the company have to distribute those profits to among their shareholders or not. So decision regarding distributing the profit among shareholder or not, that decisions will come under category of your dividend decisions. Okay, and if the company is not distributing the, you could say, profit, the retained earning means if the company is not distributing the profit among the shareholders, definitely those profit would be retained or keeping in the form of reserve in the organization for future use. Okay, so that's a very, could say, very basic structure of your financial management subject, which comes under three basic decision making: investment, financing, and dividend. And make sure, students, we will actually discuss all these units one by one, because these are the practical units which we have. Okay. Any query to anyone, please, in this topic now? Yes, student. Is there any query to anyone? The investment, financing, and dividend decisions. What is the meaning of these points, and what are the meaning of the different chapters, or different, you could say, the methods which comes under serious decision making of the financial management? Yes, student. Now the section is open for your doubts, please. Now after that, the next topic we have, that is about the different detailed discussion on all these topics, and that the capital budgeting, working capital, that will start from tomorrow. Okay. Any doubt to anyone, please, till this topic about this flow chart of financial management decision making? Hanji. The topic which we covered today, which I'll just go into explanation once again, that is about the definition part we discussed, about the aspects of financial management we talked about, and detail of procurement of funds, the various sources from where the company can arrange the funds. Then we discuss about the utilization of funds, this flow chart we have talked about, and this major structure of your financial management decision making, that is investment, financing, and dividend decisions, and the major units and the major syllabus which we have in this particular subject. Is it clear, please, everyone? Now you may open to ask the queries from today's session, please. I think there is one query in the chat box: which software used for salary and more in industry? Kindly, please, can you please elaborate your doubt, please? I'm not clear with your doubt right now. Yes, students, you are open to ask the queries now from today's session. I think Venkat Sai Pavan. Okay, I think your doubt is not clear to me. What exactly you wanted to ask? I think Venkat, am I audible to you? You may type in the chat box, or you can just unmute yourself and speak to me. Yes, students. And make sure from tomorrow we have a 2-hour session, that is from 5 to 7. Okay. So accordingly, we'll continue, and definitely within 2 to 3 classes, we will cover our theory part first of all, and then we all have the numericals of all these particular subjects. Okay. Yes, students, any query to anyone? which type of software used on monthly salary calculation? See, definitely Venkat, it's all about the ERP actually. Like what type of software is the company is looking after? Because the salary calculation, or you could say different, you could say software which the company uses, it varies from company to company. Okay. So when we talk about any particular software, definitely there is no, you could say that particular software is available. You always design your ERP, you always design your software as per the requirement in the company. Because company size is also matters a lot. If you have 100 employees, 1,000 employees, or depends on what type of, you could say, interconnection you have from different branches as well. Accordingly, your software may vary. Okay, so it is based on ERP. Actually, it's a customized software which the company always need to prepare. Yes, students. Is there any query to anyone, please? Because today I have just go through with the very basic part about the structure of the financial management. Student, please kindly confirm. Is there any query to anyone from today's session?
No.
No, Pankaj, no queries. Thank you so much. And so tomorrow, please kindly student log in at sharp 5 o'clock. Okay, we will start the class within 5 to 10 minutes of time. The grace we can give it to you, but please log in at time only at 5 o'clock. And as I told you already, the classes would be from Monday to Friday. It is from 5 to 7, and Saturday we have the doubt clearing session. Is there any more query to anyone, please?
Someone is having query.
Okay, in the chat box. 1 minute. Okay, Sayyid Azhar, fine. I'm confused retained earning. Sayyid, retained earning are basically whenever the company is generating some profit. For example, in the year of 1920, the company generated a profit of 3 lakh rupees, for example. Okay, out of those 3 lakhs, is the company is distributing any profit to their shareholder or not? If they are not distributing, those 3 lakh rupees will become your retained earning. Retained earning is basically nothing but the reserve fund which the company always maintain, rather to distribute their shareholders, rather to use that fund into the company. They always keep a reserve for the same. Okay, so that could be the part of your retained earning. Okay, anything that the company is keeping in the form of reserve, that is the retained earning. Sayyid Azhar, please. Am I clear with this? Venkat, basically what we have discussed today, we have only go through with the what is financial management. I think we discussed all about, and we discussed about the structure from where the company can arrange the funds. The arrangement of fund maybe from commercial banks, maybe from your own fund, any bonds, any debentures, or even it could be through venture capitalists. Okay. Along with that, we discuss about the decision making, about how the company can actually decide about their financing sources, investment sources, or we can say the dividend decision making in the company. So don't worry, there is nothing you could say you have left out today, but make sure students from tomorrow, please log in on time, because this subject, if you miss even for 15 minutes, you won't be able to relate what exactly we are discussing right now in the class. Okay, so it's a very first class. That's why we only go through the basic part of this particular subject, financial management. As I told you already, this subject is basically 30% only theory part we have, even 20% theory we can say, but 80% we have numericals in this particular subject. So like whenever after 2 or 3 classes, whenever we have the topic, the first topic we'll discuss, that is capital budgeting. Please be ready with your calculator, your notebooks, and all the stationery which is required. Okay. Simultaneously, you just solve the questions. Okay. Everyone, please. Any other query, please? Any more queries from today's session? Yes, friend. Do let me know. Is there any more query to anyone? If not, then we can sign off for the day. And tomorrow I'll catch you at 5 o'clock sharp. 5 to 7 tomorrow we have a class. Any more query to anyone, please? Okay, fine, students. I think as of now, there is no query to the student. So we can actually go through, we'll meet you tomorrow at 5 o'clock sharp, and we'll discuss the further topics for this particular unit. Okay. So thank you so much, everyone, for attending the class. And please be log in at 5 o'clock sharp in tomorrow's class. Thank you so much.